Good morning, everybody. It's Barb Katie here. Good morning, everybody. It's Barb Katie here. And it's a little bit gray today. We've had a lot of rain over the weekend, and they're promising fairer skies for the rest of the week. So hopefully the weather forecaster has been proven right, and I won't have to try to walk between the raindrops later on today when I go out for my walk. But if that's the case, that's okay too, because it's a warm day and I'm not sugar and I won't melt. So no worries there. And then I have to go over and attend my chapter meeting, which I always look forward to. And the way my tummy's feeling today, I've got little rumbles. So that means I'm hungry. Which is always a good sign because that indicates my body is using all the fuel that I'm giving it, and I'm staying active enough to make sure I burn it up, which is good. And my scales indicate that I'm making slow, steady progress, and hopefully my chapter scales will reflect the same thing. But one thing I've learned is that it's not just about a number on the scale. Throughout the week, different things that I do or do not do help me stay accountable in my journey. I think all of us have certain check-ins that aren't just related to the scale and the number on the scale. They keep us focused on where we want to go in our health journey. Did I take time to go for a walk? Did I not? Did I take time to prepare healthy meals that I enjoy? Did I not? Am I working on keeping a positive attitude about what I'm doing and where I'm going? Or do I try to slough off the reason I'm struggling onto something else? Rather than own it and be responsible for it? Am I being mindful? All those types of things for me have to do with my accountability and my journey. I don't know about you, but I really enjoyed Rick's talk on Friday about his pet peeves and pet peeves in general. And I even posted on his page that while he was talking, I could visualize myself with this huge red button pinned to my church that is to my shirt that said, press here to irritate me. And I think really and truly all of us have that button somewhere about things that really get on our nerves, make us a little sensitive, grouchy, defensive, whatever, you know. We all have buttons. We know where they're located, but sometimes we just have trouble protecting ourselves and not allowing people to press those buttons, you know. So thank you, Rick, for sharing your message with us. What I'm talking with you about today is my probably favorite children's book. I grew up with this book. Many of you probably know that it is the one that I have behind me, was the first in a series of 13 books that Frank Baum wrote on this particular subject. He was a children's book author and wrote under a variety of pseudonyms, but this particular series of books were under his own name. And these books were written a long, long time ago. The Wizard of Oz actually came out in 1900. Wow. Think about that. It's almost 125 years old when it was first published for children. And Frank Baum had two boys, and he wanted to write a book for his children. This was his aim, was to write it for his boys, something that they would enjoy and benefit from. It was turned into a movie in 1939, which was also the same year that Gone with the Wind was made into a movie, another excellent movie, as a matter of fact. And for me, as a child, when I first got to see it, which was quite a few years later, I was amazed that it started out in black and white and then turned to color. And that was a deliberate choice, I think, by the producers and directors of the movie, because very often I see in my own life, people have a way of looking at things as black and white. They don't see the color, they don't see the nuance, they don't see the variation. They just say black or white. I know Rick even spoke about that Friday in terms of how he sometimes views the world as someone who worked in a lab for so many years. You know, it's black or it's white. And of course, I come from an entirely different background. I worked in the social sciences field as a social psychologist, and I see a rainbow of colors all the time and shades of gray. It's just the different way that our minds are trained to look at the world and what we're hoping to find. It doesn't mean that anyone's view of the world is wrong. It is just your view of the world, and you need to be aware of what your way of looking at the world is, because it helps inform the decisions that we will be making on our journey to living our best life and finding our best health. And that's really important to know as we begin. Excuse me. It's a little bit humid today, and the pollen is laying low, and so my allergies are acting up. So I apologize if I'm a little stuffy. At any rate, as I reflected on this book and how it has throughout my life informed my life journey, of course, I came to the four primary characters in the book. And I'm going to call these forces for good. And then you look at the secondary characters, which also populated the book. And, you know, there were forces for evil in the book as well. And people that misrepresented themselves as well, who you trusted as advisors. And I think there's so much in that book that resonates about life at every level. It's not like most really good children's books. It's not a book just for children. Their parents can learn a lot from these books too, when it comes to helping their children deal with the world as they find it as they go about their journey, and even dealing with their own journey through life. But at any rate, of course, we all know Glinda the Good Witch, who helped and guided Dorothy throughout her life. And then there was the Wicked Witch of the West, which threw obstacles in Dorothy's place constantly throughout her journey. And then there was the Wizard of Oz himself, who had become the governor, if you will, of the Emerald City. And traveling along the road was Dorothy with her dog Toto. And Dorothy's sole purpose throughout this book was to what? Yeah, to get home. Dorothy wanted to go home to Kansas. That was her mission. She had been whisked up in a tornado and deposited into this amazing land of Oz. And she just wanted to go home. It's all she wanted. And along the way, she met a collection of people who became characters, who became friends of hers as she began her journey. And how true is that of us in life? You know, we collect as we travel people we think who will benefit us and who we can also benefit as we go along the path to our particular destinations. They may not be exactly the same destination, but in fact, they may have a common pathway that we will travel together for a period of time. And the first one that she ran across was, I believe, and I always get confused in which order they come in the story, and you can certainly correct me. But let's just say that she came across three primary travel companions: the Tin Woodman, the Scarecrow, and the Lion. And as she met each of them in the journey, the first, the Tin Woodman, was really rusting and had lost his flexibility and his mobility because of the fact that the rust was taking over all of his joints. And the very first thing she did was find the oil can and help himself to be able to move again. And as they began to talk, she learned that what he was most looking for was heart. He wanted to experience feelings of caring and kindness and love and affection. And he felt that was missing in his life. And he went along with Dorothy to this magic place called the Emerald City, where they were supposed to be able to find all these things. And as they went down the path, not too much longer, they came upon the Scarecrow, who was out in the field scaring away birds and stuff from the corn. And he was constantly in fear of being caught on fire by some of the Wicked Witch from the West Monkeys, who would come in and try to destroy him, because being made of straw, he was incredibly fragile. He was also really certain that he was lacking in intelligence, that he wasn't going to be able to figure out anything, that, all he was good for was just to be hung up on a stick. And when the wind blew and his limbs moved, maybe he would scare away an occasional crow. So he was actually hoping to find at some point in time a break. Down the road a little bit longer, they came into a wooded area where they were threatened and in danger. And a lion appeared who was too afraid to actually help them very much initially. And eventually he was able to muster up his courage and help them escape peril. And the lion was, in fact, looking for courage, to have the strength of his own convictions to act in a way that was in the best interest of all around. And that's what he was looking for, was courage. And down the road, the three associates began to travel with Dorothy and her little dog, because Dorothy was on a mission too. Dorothy was looking to find the way home. Once she had landed in Oz, she had realized how much more appreciative she might have been of where her original home was, that Kansas wasn't such a terrible place, and that she really, really would like to get back there. And there were many ups and downs and adventures. And what I learned initially in the story was good friends are really important when we are taking on any new task. People who can help and support us unconditionally as we travel, who will give us their strengths to empower our journey together. And that's so reflected in what we try to do in TOPS. It is not that you have to do it my way, but that I promise you, I will help you accomplish your tasks as best as I can. And I will listen to what you need, and I will try to help you with that rather than insisting that it be done your way and your way only. That you're really in it to try to help me grow as a human being and develop my own strengths and build up my self-esteem as I travel along. And you're going to help me stay focused. You're going to help me stay on track as I go through the many challenges that I will face in trying to achieve this goal. Because as we learned in the Wizard of Oz, every time Dorothy turned the corner, there was another obstacle in her path that impeded her progress. And sometimes we call that life. You know, you think you have everything lined up, and then life happens and you have to drop back and readjust whether you wish to or not. It is just the way of things. When these people finally manage to get across the field of poppies and into the Emerald City in search of the wizard who they have been told will help them get home, they have a terrible time locating him. And eventually they do come across the place where he is supposed to be in residence, and they managed to step in because they could not get an audience with him to ask him if he could help them about their the things they come in search of. And come to find out, he is not who they thought he was. That he too has his own foibles, his own insecurities, his own things he is striving and looking for. And he is pretending to be someone he is not, all-knowing and all-powerful Oz. He's just actually a carnival potions salesman who also was blown in from Kansas in the tornado or some other location. But he is not all-knowing, nor is he all-powerful. But he has the ability to see strengths in other people and to find a way to help them see those strengths themselves. And as each of them come before him to talk about what they came in search of, his answers are so interesting to me. You know, he looks at the lion and he says to the lion, "Oh, you need some medal to show to people that you are brave." You know, that's the thing you want, is that medal to put on your chest and say, "See, I am brave." A token to acknowledge that thing that I feel I don't have, somebody else saw in me and acknowledged it in this way. And with each of them, he does the same thing. He gives them a symbol of what they see. But as I'm doing this, I'm thinking of TOPS recognition program. And sometimes I think people need that visible, tangible symbol to acknowledge accomplishment. Some people don't, and that's okay. But some people do, and that's wonderful too. And you celebrate that as well. For the Scarecrow, he is given a diploma to show that he is smart, that he has accomplished official curricula to receive a diploma from the School of Life. The Tin Woodman is given a heart, you know, a really pretty little heart medal to put on his chest to show that he is caring and compassionate and concerned about others. And one of my sweetest parts of the movie was when he began to cry again and was afraid he was going to rust up again. And Dorothy gets out the oil can and gives him a little squirt so he won't. And then Dorothy, all she wanted was to go home. And the wizard looks at her and says, "You've always had the power. It is within you." And my goodness, each of us has the power within us to fulfill our journey It's within us. We just have to believe in ourselves and believe in our own ability to achieve that which we most want. We will certainly always accept the help, support, and friendship of those who travel the journey with us, but we need to believe in ourselves and be able to keep working toward whatever it is we hope to accomplish. And, Dorothy's secret token were her ruby slippers. She just had to click them 3 times and home she went. Life is not a fairy tale, and things aren't that easy for certain. I know that, and so do you. But I think this story helps us see that we have great potential within ourselves, and we have great allies that we can surround ourselves with to fulfill any dream that we have, to be able to complete a very difficult journey. Throughout his book, as The Wizard of Oz continues, Dorothy does eventually get home. But there are more journeys in store, just as there are in life. And 13 more of them are mapped out if you're ever interested in reading the whole series. One of my very favorite ones that he wrote was the one about the Wicked Witch of the West, and how she came to be as mean-spirited as she was. I found that very worthwhile and enlightening even. If you've ever met that contrarian in your life that no matter what you say, they oppose it, I would recommend that for a child's viewpoint in analyzing a very difficult type of individual to deal with, because there are contrarians that we run into that no matter what we say are going to take the counterpoint argument and pretty much bust your chops for the position that you hold in life. I have not found another book that I found as relevant for my journey as The Wizard of Oz. And when my children were growing up, that used to be a huge tradition that we had in our house. We watched that movie every year in March. Don't ask me why we picked March, but we did. And we always made a big deal of it, and we always talked about it, what we saw this time that we didn't see last time. We were sort of even nerdy about the movie because if you are a fan of the movie, you know that there's certain scenes in there that are mistakes. There's one scene where there's an emu running around where it shouldn't be. But that's for tickles and grins on a day when it's rainy outside and you just want to curl up and enjoy a good movie. I'm going to get on with my day, knowing that I have caring, intelligent, brave friends to stand beside me throughout the day, and knowing that within myself, I have the ability to make this the very best day I possibly can. And I tend to really want to do that. I love to live my life enjoying every single moment, because you never know when you're going to run up against that obstacle that's going to bring you up short and challenge you to the max. So go out there, make the best of every moment, keep making happy memories, and I will talk to you later because I'm out and about. Bye for now.